The pressure builds high, searching for answers beneath the gray sky. We need a blueprint, a faith-driven guide to anchor the soul where the faithful abide. This is the road, a turning point for the weary soul, stepping out of darkness and becoming truly whole. When you release and you tune out the noise around you, that's where the Spirit of God truly found you. It's a moment of change, finding the strength to stand and smile. Hey, the heavy debt of yesterday, bitterness won't fade. We carry chains of grudges in the choices we had made. And every whisper tries to pull us off the path, fearing the judgment of man, inviting God's pure wrath. But the word says, let it go. Cast the revenge aside. When the Lord is your soul guide, this is the rules of life. A turning point for the weary soul, stepping out of darkness and becoming truly whole. When you release the past, you tune out the noise around you. That's where the Spirit of God, God has truly found you. It's a moment of change, finding the strength to stand and smile. We look at others, wishing we had their place, trying to fast forward the blessings. Oh, yeah, in other days. And the patience is a shadow, whispering, hurry now. When the greatest victories are found, when we simply bow. So we learn to give it time, trust the Father's hand, and know that when you don't compare, you live in the promised land. This is the rules of life, a turning point for the weary soul, stepping out of darkness, and becoming truly whole. When you release the past, you tune out the noise around you. That's where the Spirit of God has truly found you. Moment of change, finding that strength that's mine. The storm can rage outside, the world can start to shake. Tyrone Bowman live. Welcome to the program, everybody. We're going to get it started on tonight here. Welcome to the conversation. Earlier this evening, or early this afternoon, basically, I started a topic about manipulation by the media. And I'm going to continue that for about maybe 20 minutes right now. It'll probably be a part 3 and a part 4, it doesn't matter. But in light of what's going on in the country, it's good to talk about things from a perspective that one knows exactly what they're talking about. I'm looking for a particular article while I'm giving my preliminary remarks tonight. Just bear with me here.
get this thing underway. All right, according to NBC News, I talked about how perception is everything. It is working good. I'm glad we got some volume. I'm on my backup telephone over here right now, so I'm going to be talking about several articles here about President Trump, Venezuela. Let's talk about this interview with the Atlantic. President Donald Trump said rebuilding and regime change in Venezuela is better than what you have right now. So according to NBC News from the Bay Area, President Donald Trump laid out a stark warning to Venezuelan interim leader Delcy Rodriguez, telling the Atlantic that, quote, if she doesn't do what's right, she's going to pay a very big price, probably bigger than Maduro, end quote. You know, the media, listen and listen well. The media is infamous for showing, presenting, and talking about any and everything except the right things. As I said earlier, I'm going to say now. I'm going to talk about the important things that are going on in America right now. You know what's important? Inflation is important. Healthcare, Medicaid is important for seniors. SNAP benefits for those who really need them is important. That's what's on my mind. Dealing with the scammers of SNAP and the abuse within the welfare department, that is making all the decent people who really need it look bad. The midterm elections are coming up. It's time for the Democrats to focus on what's important. What's important is the American economy. We don't live in Venezuela. We don't live in Greenland. We don't live in other parts of the world, but we do live here in the United States of America. The American economy is teetering on the brink of a point of no return if it doesn't get under control. Jobless rates are up. Hundreds of thousands of people were fired unceremoniously. Look, you can call it a layoff. You can call it corporate downsizing. All the fancy terms that they come up with is tantamount to people being fired. People have lost their jobs, especially going into the holiday season. It wasn't a happy Thanksgiving for hundreds of thousands of people. It wasn't a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, despite the facade that they put on around the country. The day after, what are people going to do to pay their bills? The agricultural industry is shot. And as I said, Mandami has been sworn in as the new mayor of New York City. Can he deliver on the promises that he made? That's the question. Or is he going to become a part of the status quo of political politicians who just said one thing and did another once they got in power? What about the New Yorkers? What about the Philadelphians? What about people from all points and in between? So Rodriguez had been serving as Venezuela's vice president under President Nicolas Maduro, and the country's Supreme Court declared she would immediately assume the role of acting president after U.S. forces captured Maduro and brought him to the U.S. Trump's comments make a shift in rhetoric from a day earlier when he told reporters that Rodriguez had a, quote, gracious conversation with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. She had a long conversation with Marco, and she said, we'll do whatever you need. Trump told reporters on Saturday, I think she was quite generous, but she really doesn't have a choice. We're going to have this done right. Meaning, understand the subliminal hidden message behind this. Meaning what? When they say we're going to have this done right. Later on Saturday, though, Rodriguez said Maduro was the only president of Venezuela and called for his immediate liberation. Rubio said in an interview on ABC News this week that we don't believe that this regime in place is legitimate via an election. Ultimately, legitimacy for their system of government will come about through a period of transition and real elections, which they have not had. During the interview on NBC News, Meet the Press, Rubio said conversations about a potential election in Venezuela would be premature. Trump on Saturday hinted at the possibility of future U.S. military strikes in Venezuela, telling reporters during the press briefing that the U.S. is ready to stage a second and much larger attack if needed. Wow. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene says Maduro capture is the same Washington playbook that we're sick and tired of, quote, close quote. This is according to NBC. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, representative from Georgia, slammed the Trump administration's capture of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, saying on NBC News, Meet the Press Sunday, that the operation was part of the same Washington playbook that we are so sick and tired of that doesn't serve the American people. Greene argued that President Donald Trump and his administration campaigned on Make America Great Again that we thought was putting America first. I want to see domestic policy be the priority that helps Americans afford life after 4 disastrous years of the Biden administration, she told Meet the Press. Moderator Kristen Welker pointing to policies to prioritize jobs, housing, and healthcare. First of all, let's get something straight, Marjorie Taylor Greene. All of a sudden, she's criticizing Donald Trump, but at the same time, she's still speaking out of both sides of her mouth. She's still the same individual. The Republicans do not have a political platform to stand on going into these midterm elections. They've already botched everything up. They botched it up, they messed it up, they've slopped it up. So what is their slogan going to be? Oh, well, we started some more wars. We're doing that. We're helping corporate America. We're helping the billionaires stay rich. What about everyday people here in America? Marjorie Taylor Greene got one thing right. It's about jobs, housing, and healthcare. But you all have the consensus of the Congress and the consensus of the Senate, and you all can't provide jobs for the American people. You have the Senate. You got the Supreme Court. They have everything. And then you're telling America that y'all can't help them get jobs, you can't help the economy get stimulated, you can't get people back on track. This is garbage. It's preposterous. Her comments come as lawmakers grapple with the operation that captured Maduro and his wife and brought them to the U.S., with lawmakers' support largely falling along party lines. Greene has previously opposed Trump administration policies that she argued contradicted America First priorities. They don't have any choice but to fall in line. You and I don't know what's going on behind the scenes because we're not privy to the closed door meetings. We're not privy to the private conversations. We're not privy to the briefings that they have. The only people who know what's going on are the senators, because all the Republican senators know what's going on. The only individual who knows what's going on is the president and his cabinet. Everyday people don't know what is going on. We don't understand what's going on. I just want to know, how is America going to get back on the right path when it comes to the economy, jobs, housing, and healthcare? Because Republicans are ready to gut the Healthcare Act. They don't want it. They want to totally eliminate it. They want to get rid of it and come up with some higher expensive, cheap version where individuals can't afford. You know, it's crazy. Maduro made his appearance in court today. He arrives in New York as President Trump says U.S. will govern Venezuela until there's a proper transition. There's so much more that's going on. And the bottom line is this. There are going to be a lot of stories that are going to be coming forward, but you got to understand about wag the dog, like I told you about in my first video. It's about perception. It's about changing the narrative. It's about trying to get the consensus of people on one side going into the midterm elections, whether people believe it or not. Because if people don't understand, it's going to be the same old thing over and over again. All right, let me ask you a question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Talk to me in the comment section. Are you better off now? Are you going to try to make me believe and try to tell me that everything is going along well in your personal life? How about your finances? Is everything going along well? Is your money secure? How about the healthcare package? Are you doing good? What about in your neighborhood where prices are jacked up in all the stores? Over and over again. Prices are jacked up to no end in these stores. Everywhere you go, prices are insane. Gas is out of control. Food is out of control. Inflation is out of control. The housing market is wrecked. All right, let's talk about Maduro's lawyer. Maduro's lawyer is known for being meticulous, who previously defended Julian Assange. You know who Julian Assange was, right? I'll talk about him in a minute. When the disposed Venezuelan leader Nicolas Marcos goes on trial in New York, he will be represented by an experienced lawyer who is no stranger to complex cases at the intersections of geopolitics and the law. Maduro has tapped the service of Barry J. Pollock, a partner at Harris Street, Laurent and Weltzler LLP, a boutique law firm based in New York, where the authoritarian former leader and his wife faced various charges, including narco-terrorism conspiracy. Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, pleaded not guilty at their first court appearance when Pollock was by the ousted president's side. Pollock previously represented WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, steering the anti-secrecy activist legal strategy in the U.S. For more than a decade. Pollock helped secure a 2024 plea deal that led to Assange's release from prison. This is the man who basically, Assange committed treason and gave away America's secrets, went into hiding, and then came back, and then he entered into a plea deal where he didn't do any jail time. You or me wouldn't get that type of treatment. Saving $13 a month isn't really helping. People aren't saving anything. You and I are out here struggling every single day. Rich people don't care. You know what they're concerned about? Their money, their stocks, their bonds, their dividends. They're concerned about everything except everyday people. I don't care about a football team, basketball team, a hockey team. I care about individuals being able to do the things that they need to do, take care of their basic needs, necessities, and their families. That's what I care about. I care about seniors getting their SSI checks on time. I care about the individuals who are in nursing homes being abused. Nobody's keeping check on them. The workers are overworked, underpaid, working 2 and 3 shifts at a time with no days off in between. Personal care workers, as they call them. So Andy Burrell, the president of the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, a group that Pollock once headed, told NBC News that his colleagues' experience representing an internationally controversial defendant like Assange was good preparation for the Maduro case. There's always challenges in high-profile cases, but Barry's a veteran. Burrell said he's done it before. Pollock did not immediately reply to an interview request for this article. In a brief exchange with an NBC News reporter after Maduro's arraignment, Pollock said, "I think what President Maduro said in court speaks for itself." Maduro, speaking to a translator in court, declared his innocence, claimed he was kidnapped, insisted he was still president of Venezuela. In an interview with the legal publication Law Dragon, published in early April, Pollock was asked what he found most fulfilling about his profession. In his response, Pollock said he felt fortunate to have formed a personal rapport with nearly every client he has represented. Typically, when I meet with a client, They're facing what may be the worst crisis that they have ever faced. Let me just say this. Just because somebody has been charged, just because somebody has been indicted, doesn't mean that they're going to be convicted. That's why you can't believe all the hype in the media. Do your own homework. Do your own research. Take the time to read and research thoroughly. Because this case is not going to be as cut and dry as people think it is. Ultimately, they're going to, because when you have high profile attorneys who know all the deep intricacies of the law, it's going to be a battle. So at the end of the day, it's no longer Pollock is no longer a stranger who I'm seeking to get through to the other side of the terrible piece of life. It's somebody that I've come to know and respect. It was not immediately known what led Maduro to hire Pollock, a graduate of Indiana University and Georgetown University School of Law. The reserve's representative are represented by a different attorney, Mark Donnelly, a veteran Houston prosecutor. He doesn't have to do anything he doesn't want to do and he doesn't feel is the right thing to do, Burrell said of Pollock. Beyond that, I don't know what his selection methods are. Whatever they are, I think President Maduro is going to be the beneficiary of them. We're going to find out how this whole thing is going to unravel. And it's going to be played out on the big stage, ladies and gentlemen. I said it's going to be played out on the big stage. Whether people like it or not, it's going to happen. It's going to be that way. Probably on tomorrow, I'll talk about the Grammy-winning gospel singer and pastor Donnie McClurkin, who's accused of SAing a young man. Prepare for the battle. Someone says, am I an attorney? I will be. Right now, I'm a law student. I'm headed in that direction. But for me, I'm preparing to become a criminal justice advocate. And no doubt about it. I think the trial's already rigged even before it happens because today was a preliminary hearing, and there's no way in the world they're gonna let that man go free and go back to Venezuela. You know, I don't believe it. So you're going to have a lot of people talking about a lot of things in the coming days. But I'm going to bring part 3 about this tomorrow. In the coming days ahead, you're going to hear from all the major news medias. They're all going to be talking the same thing. They're all going to read from the same playbook, from the same script. They're not going to deviate from it. So when you keep hearing the same things over and over and over again, ask yourself this question. Are we being manipulated? Are we being taken advantage of? Are they playing with our minds? You got to ask yourself that question. Is this deflection time? Yep. It's deflection so that people won't keep their mind on the upcoming midterm elections. There have been many dictators. He's not the only one. There are many dictators even here in America. There are many dictators operating around the world right now. This is about one thing, ladies and gentlemen. This is about money. It's about oil. It's about power. Whether you want to believe it or not. That's what it's about. And all you have to do, follow the money. Follow the narrative. Who stands to benefit from all this? This case is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I'll close by saying this. Where we put on my theme song. I'll close by saying this. People didn't think that Sean Diddy Combs was going to walk out of court, did they? They thought he was going to be convicted on every charge. Every charge. Russia, Iran, China, North Korea, South Korea, And don't forget, over in Nigeria, listen, there's a huge surplus of the world's natural resources in Africa. But the question is, in America, how are we going to benefit from all this? Poverty is still sky high. Inflation is still high. Homelessness is still high. And if you think that these things don't affect you, talk to some of your neighbors. Some of them are eating dog food. Some of them, they look good on the outside, but they're hurting on the inside. All right, I'm out because I got a radio interview to do. The keys of life. Until next time, never surrender, never quit. See you tomorrow. Peace.
We carry chains of grudges in the choices we had made. And every whisper tries to pull us off the path, fearing the judgment of man, inviting God's pure wrath. But the word says, let it go. Cast the revenge aside.